Now this is a story all about how my voyage got flip-turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, I'll tell you how I became the captain in great despair.
Roberto! I was being an asshole to you.
All aboard!
It didn't take us long to align our priorities and begin our voyage in the Devil's Roar. We began visiting multiple islands, searching for buried treasure, killing skeletons, and simply telling it how it is.
Why do I hate how you always fucking... You always try to make yourself sound like a fucking banger. But like, you're white. You're just a little white girl that goes to a country school. You live in a trailer park, for Christ's sake.
There was no time for fun and games on this voyage. We were killers, and we were looking for a fight.
Oh, come on, you asshole. Fucking, what was that, Roberto? Roberto just came up with a bucket full of puke and threw it in my face.
After finding our first victim, they sank themselves out of fear before even tasting our first cannonball. They were no match for an experienced crew like ourselves.
Oh, they must have scuttled their ship. What a bunch of bitches.
I want to fight. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, oh, fuck. I just accidentally jumped off the boat. Fuck! Now the boat's sailing away with no one on it.
For real? Fuck.
Yeah, our entire crew is like out on the fucking chasing this sunken ship, and our boat's just floating away.
We suddenly found ourselves without a task. After running down a sloop and forcing him into our alliance, we decided to fight a Meg together. After a close call of a last shot, we looted up, got our dicks in the wind, and headed towards the nearest skull fort.
Got my dick in the wind.
The skeletons were fierce, bringing many guns of their own to the fight, some making the ultimate skeleton sacrifice and charging us with a lit gunpowder barrel in order to protect the loot within. Meanwhile, the weather had taken a turn for the worse, with rain and lightning plaguing our ship while we fought wave after wave, until finally the captain revealed himself and met his fate. Next is where things get fishy. We had all fought valiantly, and together we removed all the loot from the innards of the fort and divvied it up to our respective ships, of which our ship took the stronghold barrel, and like any good pirate, stored it in the crow's nest. Meanwhile, Roberto had left us and was replaced with another random pirate, who was lucky enough to join a crew who had just finished a fort. We said goodbye to our ally for now, Sailor Boy told us how he really feels about his girl, and we headed towards the outpost.
Bye, random person.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry, I don't mean to sound like a dick, but you know what's funny? Whenever you're not here, I miss you, but whenever you're here, I want you to leave.
On our way to cash in, it happened. The one thing that could ruin our journey. The single killer of a voyage. The one sound that every pirate fears. I was unable to get a look at our attacker. I just knew we were in trouble.
Just follow him, he's heading to the outpost.
Okay. Oh my god, why did someone... Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, what just happened?
I don't know if it was an accident and he fell off a ladder or something and it blew up, or if...
With nimble feet, I managed to land on the bowsprit, but it was not enough to just survive. Living through the blast only meant I was privileged with watching our ship sink, and not being able to do anything about it. Pirates were uneasy. Nobody was fessing up to the deed, whether accident or malicious, and nobody had left the crew. I knew we were not far from the outpost, so I took one of the more valuable pieces and began my swim, if not to at least salvage something from this disaster. After fending off sharks and turning in the only chest I could take with me, I noticed our ally was parked at the dock and seemed to be AFK. I was tempted to steal his ship and try to make it back to our loot, but decided to give the crew another chance, and took the mermaid to help guide them back to where we had sank. Fast forward, and sure enough, we spotted the glimmer in the waves and found where our old ship was laid to rest. Strangely enough, the chests and skulls were gone and only merchant boxes were floating in the water. Thankfully, that was what made up the majority of our share of fort loot, and our spirits were once again raised. Just as we had finished turning in our recovered loot, a sloop came flying into the dock. Boy, were these pirates brave, pulling up to an outpost with loot next to a galleon while not being in an alliance. While we admired their bravery, they were in no position to make demands, and we were quickly on board to see what loot they were bringing home. We were still pirates at heart, and this opportunity had fallen into our lap, almost as if it was fate. Stealing a skull, while not worth much, made the entire trip feel complete. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more, and toss me a like if you enjoyed the video.